our schools and colleges and universities to meet the demands of a new age.
Now that we have elected our first African-American president of the United States, we're asking the question, how will President Obama's role as the leader of the free world impact the black man? President Obama said, "Sometimes I'll go to an 8th grade graduation and there's all that pomp and circumstance and gowns and flowers, and I think to myself, it's just 8th grade. To really compete, they need to graduate high school, and then they need to graduate college, and they probably need a graduate degree too." Obama's words were for everyone, but will they resonate with our young black men? Nearly 2/3 of African Americans undergraduates are women. At black colleges, the ratio of women to men is 7-1.
A typical Saturday in New York. We taped different people just going about their business. Working, running errands, spending time with their families. We set up a social experiment. We had people watch the video we shot to see what racial perceptions arise.
Don't be afraid, talk freely, tell us what you think, your opinions. So we're gonna take a look at a clip, and then you tell us what you think. All right?
Honestly, it looks like the black guy might have stole something from the white man or did something that he didn't like.
I'm black, and I agree with you. That's what it looks like to me. And basically, when you see a white man chasing a black man, I'm sorry. A white man is not going to chase a black man for no reason.
How do you know?
What? That's racist against your own race.
I know what I see and I know what I know.
But it's more typical in my experience that a black guy is going to steal from you than a black guy is going to shoot you.
What experience is that? Have you ever been gunpoint by a black man?
Yes, I have.
Really?
Yes. Personally, I have. When I walk past a black guy, then after I pass him, I make sure I still have my wallet. And that's no joke.
Yes, all I can do is, show up to work every day and improve myself.
Believe me, black guys wear suits and ties to work every day. But on the whole, we're portrayed as the guys with the braids, pants down to our knees and a white tee with a gun. This does not reflect me or most black men. But if you turn on the TV, you think that's all we have become as black in America. Continues.
suspect is said to be a black male.
The images are everywhere. On local news, where often the rule is, if it bleeds, it leads. Black men in handcuffs, in mugshots, behind bars. On the big screen, black men as violent criminals, as pimps, as drug dealers, and in music videos, rappers glorifying the thug life.
Because it's in the hood, thugs in the hood.
Portraying women as sex objects.
Get it together, George.
There are positive images of black men on network television hits like Grey's Anatomy.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something.
And recent movies like Will Smith's The Pursuit of Happiness. But in much of mainstream media, the image of black men is decidedly negative, especially in local news, where crime dominates newscasts.
It attracts viewers, it increases ratings, so there is more of it because it's going to attract an audience. And whether it's an editor making a decision...
Paula Poindexter, a journalism professor at the University of Texas, analyzed local news reports from 12 major cities over a 10-year period. Her findings? More than 2/3 of the stories on blacks were about crime, compared to less than 1/3 for whites.
That doesn't mean that African Americans are not committing crimes like everybody else. It's just that at the only time that you report on them in the news and you're showing them as criminals, then there is this visual perception that, you know, blacks are so much more menacing.
Perhaps nobody knows this better than Spike Lee, the award-winning director and producer of more than 35 films.
I get tired of watching the news, local news, and seeing this negative images of young African-American men.
There are people who say, but look at the numbers of African-American men in prison. Look at the black-on-black crime.
But let's show some balance. And there are people out here are doing the right thing, who aren't having babies out of wedlock, who are taking care of their children.
Why is there reluctance to put them on TV?
Why? That's not what they want to see.
I will punch the hell out of you. Say something else.
That is my answer to Spike Lee. Go to hell. Go.
I will punch the hell out of you. Say something else.
Let me just say this about Spike, anybody else, all the critics, anybody else. You know, it's only black people that do this to each other. I have never seen Jewish people complaining about Seinfeld. I've never seen Italian people complaining about The Sopranos. It's only us as Negroes that do this to each other. And I can't fix it. Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois did it. You know, Langston Hughes said that Zora Neale Hurston was a new version of the darky. This woman wrote Their Eyes Were Watching God. She spoke from a Southern point of view. Here Langston is in New York with his Harlem slickness, and he couldn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's kind of the same thing. I speak from the South. People love it. Why in the hell would I sit here worried about Spike Lee?
One of the Triad's favorite sons is home. Craig Thomas tells us Chris Paul was putting smiles on a lot of kids' faces today at his annual basketball camp.
Wanda, Chris Paul now lives in New Orleans most of the year. He's become one of the best basketball players in the entire world. But he still comes home every summer. He teaches some kids the fundamentals of basketball, and he gets to hang out with his own family. Kids run around the Gateway Y in Winston-Salem at Chris Paul's annual basketball camp. A giant-sized poster of the host looks down on the courts, and the in-the-flesh host high-fives, encourages, and gives campers a message.
With the younger kids, be a kid. You know, have fun, do things that kids do. And the older kids, I try to let them know that you got to work hard. In any field, anything that you want to do.
The campers' main goal is to get better at basketball. But they're also excited to be so close to one of the most famous players in the world.
He's just so famous, and we get to see him in person.
This camp is a family affair for Chris. His father, Charles, wears a whistle, and his older brother, CJ, also helps.
Anytime I do something, my family's going to be there. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but A lot of times guys in the NBA, you hear them say, I want to thank my mom, this and that. And I've always been fortunate enough to always say I want to thank my mom and dad.
I am the dream. Most importantly, I am the dream because I know the sky's the limit for me. There are no longer any laws or anything that can stop me from achieving what I would like to accomplish just because of the color of my skin. Because I am the dream, I plan to be the best me that I can be. As Pastor Houston always says, I'm an original, not a copy. I know I'm just a boy now, but my attitude affects my altitude. Therefore, I'm confident that one day I will be a man who has accomplished all that Dr. King wanted his children to accomplish and so much more. Thank you, Dr. King, for your dream. If you were still here today, I would look in your eyes and say, look at me, Dr. King. I am your dream. Thank you.